All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're looking at an absolute jewel from the forests of South Africa. I mean, this is a bird so colorful, it barely looks real. We're talking about the Knysna Turaco, also known as the Knysna Loerie. And trust me, it's got some incredible secrets we're about to uncover.
So, first question for you. Have you ever seen a bird that's truly, genuinely green? Because most of the time, the green you see on a bird's feathers is actually a trick of the light. Just an illusion created by the feather structure. But not this guy. That brilliant green you're seeing, that's the real deal. It's a pigment.
So how in the world does it do that? Well, that brings us to our first section. We're going to dig into the amazing science behind the Turaco's unique colors. And it's a story that involves a little bit of chemistry and a whole lot of copper.
Okay, so this really breaks it down. On the left, you've got how most birds get their color. It's all about physics, light bouncing off tiny structures in the feather to create the illusion of color. But on the right, that's the Turaco's way. They don't need tricks. They literally manufacture their own special copper-based pigments to get those stunning greens and reds.
And these superstar pigments have names. Turacin is for that incredible red, and Turaco is for the vivid green. What's so wild is that these are the only true red and green pigments found in any bird anywhere. And the secret ingredient for both? Copper. This makes the whole Turaco family totally unique in the bird world.
And get this, it's like a little magic trick from nature. That red pigment, turacanin, is actually a bit water-soluble. So if you found a fallen red feather and stirred it in a glass of water, the water would actually turn pink. How cool is that?
So, if you're ever lucky enough to be in its neck of the woods, here's what to look for. The biggest giveaway is that awesome tall green crest with a really sharp white tip. Then you'll spot the bright orange-red bill, a deep red ring around the eye, and this clean white line right under it. You see all that? You've definitely found yourself a Knysna Turaco.
All right, so we know what it looks like, but where does this incredible bird actually live? Let's head into its home turf, deep inside the evergreen forests of South Africa's famous garden route. This is the perfect and really the only home for the Knysna Loerie.
Yep, this bird is what's known as a resident breeder, which basically means it sets up a permanent home right here in these super lush, dense forests. It's a true tree dweller, perfectly built for a life spent hopping and flying through the canopy.
And here's the funny thing. You'd think a bird this brightly colored would stick out like a sore thumb, right? Wrong. That unique green pigment, Turaco is the absolute perfect camouflage. In the shifting, dappled light of the forest, this vibrant bird can just vanish.
Now that we know where it lives, what does it actually do all day? Let's zoom in on a day in the life of a Knysna Turaco, what it eats, what it sounds like, and how it hangs out with its family.
First up, let's talk food. The Turaco is mostly a frugivore, which is just a fancy word for a fruit eater. They're super agile climbers, and they spend their days moving through the treetops looking for ripe fruits and berries, which they often just swallow whole. But, they're not too picky. They'll also snack on insects, seeds, and leaves to get a balanced diet.
You are almost always going to hear a Turaco before you see one. They have this really loud, almost barking call, a kind of cow, 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 that just carries through the forest. They're pretty social, living in pairs or small, noisy family groups, and they use that call to let everyone know, hey, this is our territory.
And speaking of those noisy family groups, that brings us to their family life. It's actually pretty fascinating, from their lifelong partnerships to the way they raise some very, very special chicks. So let's walk through their life cycle here. It all starts with a pretty simple nest, really just a messy platform of sticks. The female lays 2 white eggs, and once they hatch, the chicks show off their secret weapon, little tiny claws on their wings that they use to climb around. Then, in about 4 weeks, they're ready to take their first flight. And the whole thing is really about teamwork. Knysna Turacos are monogamous, which means they often find a partner and stick with them for life. And when it's time to raise a family, it is a true 50-50 partnership. Both mom and dad build the nest, they take turns sitting on the eggs, and they both work to feed and protect their chicks. Okay, so we know this bird lives in the trees, but let's look at the amazing tools it has that make it such a master of that world. It's not just about the pretty colors. This bird is literally built for climbing. Just check out their feet. The technical term is semi-zygodactylous. I know, it's a mouthful. But what it means is that their outer toe can swivel. They can point it forward like other birds, or they can swing it all the way backward. This gives them an unbelievable grip and lets them basically run along branches like little acrobats.
And remember those special chicks? Here is their secret weapon up close, the carpal claw. So young Turacos actually have this small claw on each wing. It's a temporary tool that helps them scramble around the branches safely before they can even fly. Then, as they get older and don't need them anymore, the claws just disappear.
The Turaco has one more incredible trick up its sleeve, or I guess under its wing. When it flies, it flashes these brilliant crimson feathers. Now, imagine you're a predator. You'd lock right onto that bright red color. But the second the Turaco lands and folds its wings, poof, the red vanishes. The bird just melts back into the green leaves, leaving any predator totally confused.
You know, beyond all the cool biology, this bird holds a really special place in the hearts of the people who live nearby. It's not just another forest animal, it's a genuine local icon.
I mean, the connection is so deep, the bird is literally named for the town of Knysna. For a lot of people, it really represents the wild, beautiful spirit of South Africa's garden route.
And you can see that cultural connection everywhere. You'll find its image on local pottery and in artwork. Some local traditions even associate the bird with good luck and wealth. It's really become an ambassador for the whole region.
So let's just do a quick recap. We're talking about a bird that makes its own true colors out of copper, has a specialized toolkit for climbing trees, and on top of all that, holds a special place as a cultural symbol. Just an absolutely incredible creature all around.
And that really leaves us with one last thought. The Knysna Turaco is such a great reminder that the world is just full of these hidden wonders with amazing stories. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many other living jewels like this are out there, hiding just out of sight?